Good afternoon. I'm Ellen Wilds, candidate for governor. I began this because I think it's time that the people take back the government from the politicians. I realize that there are people all over sitting around kitchen tables, in restaurants and bars, in bowling alleys, who are talking about what's going on in the world and discussing how they would address some of the issues. Although these ideas may differ from group to group and even from person to person, within some of these discussions, greatness could be forming. By listening and combining these ideas, solutions will be found. As governor, I may not have all the answers, and I may not be aware of all the problems, but I will listen to the people of Florida. I am a problem solver, and Florida is facing some serious issues right now. Our school system, gun rights versus gun safety, disaster preparedness and responsiveness, as Florida has over 1,200 miles of coastline, and storms are getting stronger and they are more frequent. If I do not have the skills to address the issue, I know where to find people who can. For example, I am not an engineer, so if it's a problem that involves civil engineering, I know where to locate those people. I will surround myself with people of varying backgrounds and different opinions. I believe in taking responsibility for one's actions and holding people accountable. I am interested in doing what is in Florida's best interest. That is the role of the governor, to help bring people together, look to the future, work to find solutions, aid in our growth, and enhance the lives of Floridians. And lastly, I will not be a state of emergency governor. I plan on holding a town hall meeting on a quarterly basis. Each quarter, the town hall meeting will be held in a different city. Thank you. Right now, Florida did not accept the Medicaid expansion packet from the federal government. That is one of the first things that I want to address, is bringing that back. Because there is a gap between those who qualify for Medicaid and those with an income that's too low to purchase insurance on the ACA. So that would be my first step, would be to do that. Second of all, I want to look into the CHIP program. I believe that our children need health care and we need to work towards gaining that back. There was a recent memo sent out where I believe that around $7 billion is being cut from that program. And I want to look at the budget and reassess that and see what we can do to bring those insurances back. I believe in home rule for obviously certain things. Some things, especially when it involves the environment, we have rivers that run through the state of Florida. So we can't have one county cutting off water on the St. Johns and stopping another county from getting it here. So there are going to be issues that need to be addressed on a state level and issues that should be home ruled. In all cases, though, I think that we need to bring everybody together so everybody can be on the same page as to what needs to happen, why it needs to happen, and we need to get different ideas as to how we can bring about policy and implement what actually needs to happen. As I stated earlier, Florida has over 1,200 miles of coastline, and with the storms coming in and water rising, we need to do that. I think that we should have started addressing this issue 5 to 10 years ago. It is not just the water and the beaches, but it is the roads and the infrastructure that runs along all of Florida's coastlines. I'm not sure if people are familiar with A1A, which runs a good length of the Florida coastline. But after several storms, that road is having some serious issues. We need to focus on ways that can protect our beaches as well as protect the infrastructures, the roads, hospitals, homes that are along those coasts. As far as getting ideas for doing that, I think there are a lot of ideas out there, and I think there's a lot of people that are willing to look into it. We have civil engineers, the Army Corps of Engineers that can help us find the answers that will best suit our needs here in Florida. When the issue of gun safety versus gun rights first became prevalent in Florida, I went to a March for Our Lives and met with and talked to teachers and students and parents that were there. And they are basically concerned with their children's safety. How are we going to protect our children? How are we going to protect the lives of the innocent? Then I went to the gun shows and talked to a bunch of NRA members. And I asked them, how would you protect these people? Because it's not necessarily a Second Amendment, everybody right as far as owning a gun. People do have a right to firearms, but there are certain firearms that need more regulation. Machine guns became heavily regulated in 1986. And I believe that assault rifles should start falling under those same regulations to make background checks and tracking where those weapons are sold, to whom, and if that weapon is resold, we need to know who it's going to. I could walk into a gun show, buy 15 assault rifles right now, walk out and sell them to anyone I wanted, and there would be no record of that. We need to find ways to keep these weapons out of the hands of terrorists and people with mental health issues. I'm Ellen Wilds, and I am a candidate for the state of Florida Governor's Office. If you'd like to know more about me, please visit my website at ellenwildsfloridasvoice.org. I believe that all Floridians should be heard. I do not represent, and I will never represent, just one group of people who funds my campaign, or who speaks the loudest, or who is an extremist. I think that everybody needs to be heard, and everyone should have a voice in what happens in the state of Florida. Again, Ellen Wilds, candidate for governor. Thank you.